Good evening, everyone. We'll call to order the regular city council meeting for August 17th, 2022. I'd ask that everyone please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, and we'll have invocation by Alderlady McDowell. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Lord God, we thank you for blessing us to see another day. We ask you, Lord, to come into our council chambers. Bless this city of Markham as we conduct the business of Markham. Bless that all that we do is done decent and in order. And in your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Roll call, please.
Mayor Akpawa,
Here.
Alderlady Hampton Hauser,
Present.
Alderman Jones, Alderlady McDowell,
Present.
Alderman Barron. We have a quorum.
Approval of minutes, regular city council meeting for August 3rd, 2022.
Mayor Akpawa,
Yes.
I make a motion that we approve the regular city council meeting August 3rd, 2022, as presented with any noted corrections.
Second.
Motion by Alderman Barron, second by Alderman McDowell for approval of regular city council meeting minutes for August 3rd, 2022. Question? Roll call?
Alderman Jones,
Yes.
Alderlady Hampton Hauser,
Yes.
Alderlady McDowell,
Yes.
Alderman Barron.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Authorization, claims and accounts, the bill list?
Yes, Mayor Alpao.
Yes.
I make a motion to approve the authorization, claims and accounts, invoice payment approval for August 17th, 2022, which reads as follows. Corporate, $398,213.71. Water and sewer, $64,037.96. Solid waste, $92,978.45.
I'll take a look.
We have motor fuel at $53,262.40. We have Markham Senior Living Complex, $16,521.48. The roller rink, $9,203.93. We have Tip Dixie Highway, $2,445 even, which give us a total of $663,662.93. Well, we have the manual checks at $32,789.50, which gives us a grand total of $669,452.43.
Second.
Motion by Alderlady Hampton, second by Alderman Barron for approval of the bill list, authorization, claims and accounts. Question? Roll call?
Alderlady McDowell,
Yes.
Alderlady Hampton Hauser,
Yes.
Alderman Jones,
Yes.
Alderman Barron.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, we have no special presentation. We'll go right over to the city attorney's report.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Members of the council and members of the public, with respect to the city attorney's report, appears under 8. Starting off with 8A, there's a proposed resolution approving the extension and renewal of the reproclamation and declaration of a continued local state of emergency within the city of Markham, and approving the mayor's determination regarding modifications to in-person meetings in response to the COVID-19 pandemic dated August 17, 2022.
Mayor Akpawa,
Yes.
I make a motion that we pass resolution number 2335, as read by the city attorney.
Resolution.
Read the ordinance number. It's a resolution. Oh, sorry. Correction, resolution number 22R688.
Motion by Alderman Barron, second by Alderlady McDowell for approval of resolution, extension or renewal of the reproclamation as read. Roll call? Questions? Not on resolution, but we can discuss if you want.
Does this limit the amount of people that can come into the actual city facilities,
No,
the meeting?
no,
All right, so the doors are not limited to 26 feet?
no.
Okay. Good. I want to make sure someone told me that the last meeting, they couldn't even get over the capacity.
I don't know who told them that. We didn't tell them that.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, roll call?
Alderman Barron,
Yes.
Alderman Jones,
Yes.
Alderlady Hampton Hauser,
Yes.
Alderlady McDowell,
Yes.
motion carried.
And that was under 8A. Next, we have under 8B, a proposed ordinance amending section 112.023, number of license of chapter 112, alcoholic liquor of title 11, business regulations of the code of Markham to decrease the number of Class B liquor license in the city of Markham, Cook County, Illinois.
Mayor Laflau,
Yes.
I make a motion that we waive the reading, we waive the reading on ordinances,
Correct.
correct?
Correct.
I make a motion that we waive the reading on ordinance number 22-0-2335, an ordinance amending section 112.023, number of licenses of chapter 112, alcohol, liquor, or tax, title 11, business regulations of the Code of Markham to decrease the number of Class B liquor licenses in the city of Markham, Cook County, Illinois.
Second.
Motion by Alderlady Hampton, second by Alderlady McDowell to waive the reading for ordinance amending section 112.023, number of licenses as read. Roll call?
Alderman Jones,
No.
Alderman Barron,
Yes.
Alderlady Hampton Hauser,
Yes.
Alderlady McDowell,
Yes.
motion carried.
Mayor Alcala,
Yes.
I make a motion that we approve ordinance number 22-0-2335, which reads as follows: an ordinance amending section 112.023, the number of licenses of the chapter 112, alcohol, liquor, or title 11, business regulations of the Code of Markham to decrease the number of Class B liquor licenses in the city of Markham, Cook County, Illinois.
Second.
Motion by Alderlady Hampton, second by Alderlady McDowell, to approve ordinance amending section 112.023, number of licenses for chapter 112, alcoholic liquor, as read. Question? Roll call?
Alderman Barron,
Yes.
Alderlady McDowell,
Yes.
Alderlady Hampton Hauser,
Yes.
Alderman Jones,
No.
motion carried.
Next, under 8C, we have a proposed ordinance amending section 11.02 of chapter 11 of the Markham City Code of Ordinances to redistrict the wards of the city of Markham and adopting an official ward map of the city of Markham following the 2020 decennial census.
Mayor, I don't know what time you guys received this, but I received this at 7:50 PM. I didn't have enough time to digest or read the information, so I didn't continue this until I further read it. I mean, I got my packet on last Thursday, however, I got this on yesterday. Within
That's
24
when I
hours.
received it.
What's that?
That's when I received it from the attorney.
Oh.
They emailed.
So there was enough time to go through it, you know? And what I'm looking at now is that there's not enough, information for the boundaries themselves. I mean, I see the census block, but I don't see the actual boundaries. And that'd be confusing where it was, because they say that the chart, it's not put on the exact boundaries, you know, in the map. There's no boundaries listed except for the census block.
Whatever the council's pleasure is, Alderman.
It's actually on the map.
We need more time to digest this. I say we table this. Even if we, allow to go through our planning and zoning, so we have time. to-
Okay, is that your motion to table?
Yes, sir.
Okay. The motion to table. The second?
What time did you all receive this information?
There's a motion on the floor, Alderman. Is there a second? Okay, all right.
What time
Okay.
did you all receive this? You all received the same when I received it?
Alderman, we can take this up under question right now.
Okay.
You know, we're in the middle of the report, so you can dialogue when we get in the middle if you want.
Okay.
Okay. Attorney, you still reading?
I've read it, so he had his motion.
All
And
right,
it was not duly seconded, so
all right.
now you're waiting for someone else if they have a motion. but it's not just
Council,
yours.
what's your pleasure tonight?
Mayor Powell,
Yes.
I make a motion that we waive the reading to ordinance number 22-0-2336, an ordinance amending section 1102 of chapter 11 of the Markham City Code to redistrict the wards of the city of Markham and adopting official ward map of the city of Markham following the 2010 decennial census.
Second.
Motion by Alderman Barron, second by Alderlady McDowell, to waive the reading for ordinance amending section 11.02 of chapter 11 of the Markham City Code for redistricting wards for the city of Markham and adopting official ward map as read. Roll call?
Alderlady Hampton Hauser,
Yes.
Alderlady McDowell,
Yes.
Alderman Jones,
No.
Alderman Barron,
Yes,
motion carried.
Mayor Powell.
Yes.
I make a motion that we approve ordinance number 22-0-2336, ordinance amending section 1102 of chapter 11 of the Markham City Code of redistricting wards, city of Markham, and adopting official ward map for the city of Markham following the 2020 decennial census.
Second.
Motion by Alderman Barron, second by Alderlady McDowell, for approval of ordinance amending section 1102 of chapter 11 of the Markham City Code to redistrict wards in the city of Markham and adopting the official ward map of the city of Markham following the 2020 census, decennial census. Question?
Yes, I would like to know what time did you want to receive this? You ready to receive the same time I received it?
You said they were all on, clerk says they were on email.
So they already received the certification. I mean, how is the transparency when you want, all you have is data numbers and not locations? All you have is the map is data numbers. These are data numbers, these are census blocks. I spoke to Census Bureau. The Census Bureau told me that they don't, this right here is okay, but there's data that goes with this. You know, and at the last meeting on August 30th, I asked for data. I never received the data. The presentation was put on one website, but there was never no data showing the actual blocks that these fall into. I mean, when I spoke to the Census Bureau, they told me that they don't go from west to east to west, or north to south, nor do they bring up the precincts. So the census thing that we have here is we can't go by it. I mean, the problem we have here is just the transparency, Mayor. I would just love.
Well, I disagree about that word altogether.
Yes, sir.
So we disagree about that, okay?
Okay, I
So you
understand.
can use that word as much as you want, but I
respect that.
disagree with that.
I respect that, but I think our problem is not a redistricting problem, our problem is a rezoning problem. We have problems with our rezoning maps, within our redistricting maps. You know, right now, the census says that we have 11,661 people. But, in 2010, we had 12,508. That means that we lost a population of 847 people. That's one census in that. But then when I go to the ACS, it says that we have a population of 12,400. But then when I go back to, the census map that we collect this data from, and it says that from the 11,661 people, 8,500 are above the age of 18. 8,500 above the 18, above the age of 18. The other 3,000 are under 18 years old. You know, so still the data is not there for the redistricting at this point. You know, I mean, I'm just trying to get some clarity on this. You know, when I went to the dispute again, I looked at something called PUMA, PUMA, public use micro area. And that's the closest depth I got to the blocks that we have here. So how can we make a sound decision on something that we don't have the data on? You know, we have no data. We just have numbers. How is that possible? We don't have anything to go on. Any questions, council?
Council wants to answer, you can answer. Council?
Mayor, the presentation we made 2 weeks ago, the maps that we gave out are exactly the same as attached to the ordinance. If you look at the back of the ordinance, it's in black and white, so you clearly can see the streets that are between the wards and within the wards. Just to answer Alderman Jones, ACS is an estimate, which they estimate based on factors that they deem are appropriate. The official census is the federal census that every redistricting has to abide by. So we don't redistrict off of ACS, we redistrict off of the federal government and the numbers that they release. The problem, as we said a couple of weeks ago, is that Markham hasn't redistricted since 1998 based on 1990 numbers. So you were basically 30 years behind in redistricting. And that's why the wards are so far off, with the fourth ward being so heavily overpopulated and the first ward being so heavily underpopulated. We straightened that out, so each ward is very close and within the deviation. The deviation based on the 1998 map was 91% between the smallest ward and the highest ward. The deviation now with the proposed ordinance is 9.7% within the 10% deviation. The map you had was just didn't keep up with the population changes. And the detail we gave you 2 weeks ago as to the breakdown of the ethnic groups and where they are and what percentages are the same ones you have today, which is in the ordinance. The ordinance, Mr. Mayor, is really only 2 pages long. It recites the things that needed to be recited to comply with the United States and Illinois Constitution and the Voting Rights Act. It's only 2 pages. Then you get the ward maps, both as a whole and then by ward, where you can clearly see the streets. Where there's a dividing line between wards, the ordinance is clear that the dividing line is in the middle of the street. So you clearly know what side of the street is in which ward. Can the data be broken down from the census block? Yes, it takes a long time, for either us to do it, your engineers to do it. Federal government won't do that. We're required by Illinois and federal law to provide a legal description, which the census blocks are found to be acceptable legal description, as well as with the maps. So this hasn't changed since our presentation.
However, at the same time, it has been in 30 years. Why did it confuse 38 months before the election? This is another one confusing the residents who actually have to go and vote.
Alderman, with all due respect, we dealt with this 2 weeks ago. We've heard it before. And, that's just going to be unfair to everybody else to have to do it all over again. I mean, so the question, that's not a question he can answer. I can answer that. I know that it's a legal matter at this point, that any of the races that would be brought up now would be contended. So, but I also mentioned this to you too. You sat here for 16 years and didn't do anything about it. So that's something you could have addressed and we wouldn't have had to be in a hurry about it. So now that's the hurry, because we're legally not where we need to be at. So you could have taken care of that.
No, sir.
So don't take up any more time with this unnecessarily.
Sir, stop.
You're the only person on the council that's saying anything about it. Everybody else has got issues about it too. I don't have a ward. All the wards are mine. But they have wards, and equally, they had to sit here for 2 weeks ago and listen to this. And it's just not fair. And as the chair, I don't think it's fair that we carry on with it all night. So get to your point, Alderman. Please get to your point.
Sir, yes, sir. For the past 16 years, I've fought for so many things. Okay, but that's
Well,
the past.
we talking about this, Alderman.
Yeah, I know, sir.
We're
So
talking
let's
about
not-
this.
Yes, sir. So
We're
let's-
talking about this.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I respect that.
All
So
right.
let's not bring up the past and let me-
No, I'm bringing up the past
No, sir.
because
Yes,
you're relating it to the
No, you won't.
future.
It's okay.
I'm bringing it up.
No, I'm talking about the future. sir.
I'm bringing it up.
I'm talking about the future, sir, okay?
Okay, and I'm talking about the future too.
Okay, so let's continue.
But the past is
But
what,
the past
is
is
what
our fault.
affected
16
it.
years.
Had
No,
something
sir.
been done
So 30
before, had something been done before, we wouldn't be sitting here with this problem. And you sat here and didn't do anything about it.
Yes, I did, sir.
You and a lot of other
No,
people.
sir. No, sir. I
So
fought for
that's
that.
how that worked.
No, sir.
All right, well, let's move on.
No, sir.
Let's move on.
May I finish, sir?
You finish, because we gotta move on.
Okay. The redistricting is not based on these numbers. It's
Well, Alderman, we've been through that. We talked about the numbers, the attorneys told you the numbers. You know, nothing's gonna be good enough for you, Alderman.
no, it's gonna be good.
Nothing's gonna be good enough for you.
I just wanted for the people. I want the people.
Alderman, you're not the only person speaking for the people. There's other
Sir.
people on this dais
Sir,
speak
you're
for
not
the
speaking. Why do you
people.
keep cutting me off?
Because we
I
listened to you for 2 weeks ago.
Sir,
And if you want to take something out to the street to the people, help yourself. But we're not gonna tie up this business meeting with all this tonight.
Sir. I'm trying
All right?
to get my point.
Okay, it's gonna be a point of order in a minute. So come on, let's get with it.
All right. What we have here is a zoning problem, a rezoning problem. We do not have a redistricting problem. We have zones where people are paying higher.
Alderman, we visit this already. We've already been through this. We're gonna call for the roll.
So, I mean, I see that this is a new point to everybody, but I just want to just be clear that, this is not true. That's all I say.
Yeah, that's a punchline.
No,
So
sir.
tell that one to somebody
It's
else.
the facts. It's the
Yeah,
facts, sir.
well, you sat here with that too
No,
for
no,
16
and
years
I'm
about
still here.
transparency.
The person who's-
And you sat here for
who endorsed
16
you.
years.
Yes, and I'm
Yes.
wrong. Now,
You-
I'm still here.
Well, then you
And I'm
shouldn't
still
use that
here.
word.
And I'm still
You
here.
shouldn't use
And
that
I'm still
word.
fighting for
Be- Yeah. You were a long range too.
Yes, sir.
You
Always.
sure were. You still long range
Yes,
right
sir. I
now.
am.
Anybody else got another question?
No, Mayor, I'm good, Mayor, ready to move forward.
Roll call.
Alder Lady Hampton Hauser,
Yes.
Alderman Barron,
Yes.
Alder Lady McDowell,
Yes.
Alderman Jones,
No.
motion carried.
Mr. Mayor, with respect to the city attorney's report, I don't have anything else under 8D, E, F, G, H, or I. Other than that, that's my report.
All right, thank you very much. We'll go over to city clerk's report.
I just have one announcement. The Nature Conservatory, join us for Prairie Day, August 20th, 2022, from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. at Sunset Park, 157th Street in Millard, and Paintbrush Prairie, 3454 West 155th Street. Join the Nature Conservatory, the Southland Ministerial Health Network, and Markham Park District for a morning of outdoor fun at Sunset Park. Enjoy a petting zoo with Silver Stallion Ranch, a double Dutch experience led by Princess Harris of Faith and Place, refreshments, and a post walk at Ginsburg Markham Prairie. That's all I have.
All right, thank you. Under the mayor's report, just a few comments before we go on to a couple of things I want to talk about with operations. I want to make a statement under my report that it's just, to me, I think, a shame that the community does as well as it's doing and has been doing for some time, and for the alarm to get sounded. You know, some people I see here in the council room, we don't see them until something gets stirred up somewhere. Well, I certainly wish that people would come out when something's not stirred up and show the support then about trying to do something and be engaged ahead of time. And then we wouldn't have to wait all this time. But you know, I think that it's just too bad that we just want to keep that spirit stirred up. Well, I can tell you, it's not going to happen. We're going to continue to move the city forward, whether some people, a few handful of people like it or not. We're going to do what's best and right for the general public here, and that's what we're going to do. So if somebody wants to get stirred up about it, then have at it. The services are getting provided here in the community. I always, regardless to whether I have anything spirited to say to any of these aldermen, I think that reasonably everybody's working and doing their job. And I think that we should continue. But anybody wants to feed off of that and be negative about it, help yourself. But I'll tell you what, we're going to keep doing what has made the town better. And we're going to keep trying to do that regardless to what anybody tries to do. We're going to work hard. So that's something I want to make clear. And as long as I'm sitting here, that's how I'm going to do it. Because otherwise, I don't want to be here. And if somebody doesn't want me here, then vote me out. Because I'll go. Maybe it's time for me to go then. But I don't think it's quite that soon. We're doing great things. We're doing good things in this community, and definitely by all the things that everybody sees. And some people just don't like that. Too bad. Too bad. We're going to keep doing good things. And it's not going to always be to somebody's satisfaction or liking, because it's certainly not to mine. Just going into my report, I said some things about public works. Here, I think there's some places with public works, some places where we need to do a reboot in some places. And that happens. By the same token, we had to make some places and good changes with the police department. Police department's doing better than it was in years. And the fire department and everybody's services are getting done. Same thing with the building department. All these departments and the management thereof is being done daily. And that's what we're here to do. So with that, that really is going to be the end of my report. We'll go over to the automatic. I'm sorry, Mr. Champion, please keep him in your prayers. He's not here. He had a passing in his family. So please keep the city administrator in your prayers. So we'll go over to the automatic reports. Alderman Jones, good evening.
Good evening, sir. Thank you. The 16 years I've served on this board, with integrity. It hasn't always been easy fight, but it's an uphill battle. But I've always been truthful and transparent to the people that served for the past 16 years. I tried my best to listen to what you all wanted to hear, and then sit on this council, not on my own being, but on you, the people. I've listened to you all, and I've spoken on your behalf. As many times I could have been silent. I could have went with the flow, but I did not. I've always been straight and the forward. Anybody that knows me and knows my integrity and my character knows it about me. It's not about me, it's about people. This council is not dictatorship, but it's a democracy. And sometimes we're gonna bump heads. There's nothing wrong with that. But let's not pour salt. Let's be respectful. After that, we still should be friends and cordial. Because sometimes we're not gonna agree on everything. That's fine. That's great. Let me present the facts, you present the facts, and then we go from there. That's what this is about. I'm not gonna win everybody. That's not how council wins. That's not how the world wins. That's not how family works. Some of you all are married. You all win everybody with your wives or with your husbands? Of course not. That's just not how it goes. But being truthful and transparent at the end. So to go back in the past, when we're moving forward with a new vision, is all I'm trying to do. All right? That's all I'm trying to do. That's all I will ever do. As long as I'm serving here on this seat. That being said, I'd like to give kudos real quick to this gentleman right here. I don't know if y'all can see that picture. Zoom in on him. This is Markham very own. He actually lives in Nottingham, in Canterbury. His name is Jesse Warren. He served in the U.S. Army. He's being blessed by the Honors Flight Chicago. For those who don't know, the Honors Flight Chicago recognized the bravery, determination, and patriotism of our nation's senior war veterans. With a one-of-a-kind journey to Washington, D.C., the trip is only one day, but the experience is a lifetime changing. Now, Mr. Warren served in the U.S. Army from 1951 to 1953 as a private first class, serving as a guard at the sergeant during the Korean War in South Korea. Jesse received a Korean Service Medal and United Nations Service Medal Award and 2 Bronze Stars. He married Helen in 1951 and 4 children, 15 grandchildren, 30 great-grandchildren, and 4 great-great-grandchildren, 5th generation. He's a resident of the city of Markham since 1973. He's 93 years old. Right here in Canterbury, right here in Markham. So I'd like to applaud this guy, you know, for his service. And his commitment to the city of Markham and to the armed services. Okay? That being said, also, I have another block club coming up. I'm featuring the block club party. There's another block club party, August 21st, 2020, from 3 to 7 on Albany Street. That's in Meadowview, That's August 21st, 2022, from 3 to 7 p.m. on Albany Street. So if you all want to stop by, please stop by. Because once again, unity for the community. You know, that's another catchphrase. All right, thank you, Mayor.
Okay. Good evening, Alderman Barron.
Good evening. I think I've already explained to some people. I wasn't aware that we were supposed to be redistricting. You can't hear me? Any better? Speak up. Okay.
Yeah, just pull your mic closer.
Okay. Well, my mic isn't working. I wasn't aware that we were supposed to be redistricting, although I've only been on the board since 2014. But I was aware that I had the biggest ward, at least house-wise. And I guess I wasn't surprised when I saw that I had 44% of the population. Now, as far as the calculations go with census tracts and everything that Mr. Olderson's group did, I don't have the expertise to break that down. And I don't think anybody's happy that they're losing part of their ward or they're gaining stuff. But I was not willing to put this off until next May, because I don't think it's fair for the people to go to the election and vote for somebody that might not even be their alderman 2 weeks later. I mean, that made no sense to me. And now at least we have enough time to blow up these ward maps and let the people know, I lost part of my ward, but there's other people here that have gained new areas. So that's going to be a bigger challenge. But I also, some of the ward that I lost, I need to go and talk to some of those people and let them know that I won't be representing them. I mean, do the ward maps go into effect immediately?
Yes.
Yes.
So, but as far as I'm concerned, anybody that calls me for assistance, I don't care where they live, I would be helping them. But I could not see putting this off. I really couldn't. I didn't think that would be fair to anybody. And nobody's gonna be happy. I mean, I see all the fighting they do in Chicago, and Mr. Olderson's group was there representing some of the wards. So, that being said, I could not see. I got my packet last night at 7:30, Alderman, and I was up till about 1 o'clock this morning reading it. And I needed a magnifying glass to actually figure out all the streets. So it was something. Okay, I hate to admit, or I hate to announce, but we've lost 2 longtime residents, Mary Anderson and Mary Ellsworth. They both passed in the last couple weeks. The VFW is sponsoring a pork chop dinner Friday from 3:30 to 7. The public's invited. The back to school event last Saturday was over the top. It was really good. Big turnout. Everybody seemed to really enjoy it, and I thought it was one of our better festivals. We're in the process right now of trying to cut tree branches that are hanging over the streets where there is like bus stops. I've got 2 or 3 trees that are gonna be trimmed over the pump house. I thought he was gonna be there today, but he wasn't. Grass cutting, the guys are working hard. I mean, I can't fault them. It's just, you know, we got almost 4 inches of rain a week ago, and everything is just, it's doubled. I know it has in my yard. So, kudos to Public Works. They were working on those days, we're in their 90s. I saw them here at 3:30 when they came in, and they just barely could get back into the garage. So these guys work hard. I mean, it's not, some of these lots, they grow up so much, and the vacant houses are all being addressed again. We're supposed to have a meeting in September. We're gonna try and do something different with vacant houses. 'Cause I've had vacant houses in my ward that have been there for over 10 years, and it's time for them to be gone. So, that's it. Everybody have a nice, Memorial Day, or, Labor Day.
Thank you. Good evening, Lady Hampton.
Well, good evening, Mayor, good evening, Council, good evening, guests, residents that are here at this present time or listening on Facebook as well. I just want to say, Mayor, in reference to the redistricting, I welcome that. I welcome it with open arms. I welcome the fact that we're actually getting to a position where we have equal representation throughout our city, and I humbly do agree with Alderman Barron when he stated that we need to actually move on this now versus waiting until April of next year, whatever the case may be. Alderman Jones had made a statement, I'm not trying to bring up the past, but he made a statement at the last city council meeting. He said, I don't know those people, I don't know who they are. All the residents in the city of Markham, be it that they be renters, be it that they be owners, be it that they just, they're in a particular home, they're all our residents. They're everybody's residents on this diocese. If one individual comes from Ward 1 or Ward 2, which they did earlier part of last weekend, I still handled it. These are all our people. I welcome the change. I welcome meeting the new individuals that I'm going to be representing as well. Unfortunately, sometimes things don't pan out the way we wanted to, but we should be mature enough. You all voted us into these positions to make sure that we can represent you to the best of our ability. I did not like the fact the last city council meeting that Alderman Jones used that Kool-Aid to actually represent us. The Kool-Aid, excuse me, the Kool-Aid. And so basically using the Kool-Aid, said don't drink the Kool-Aid. To me, that is an insult to this diocese. That's an insult to this diocese, Mayor. So moving forward, Mayor, I welcome the new change. I welcome meeting the new residents. I welcome them with open arms. And matter of fact, that'll move me right into my next statement. And my next statement is on August 27th, and this will include my new ward over in Canterbury as well. We are having our first ward festival, which is going to be on August 27th at 12 o'clock noon to 6 o'clock in the evening. I will be coming around to your homes. I will be introducing myself to you, and I'm going to extend the invitation, even though you might have to travel on the other side of town to this function to Martin Luther King Park. But it's all right, it's okay. So I will be bringing that information out to you, and I welcome bringing you all into the coffee sip, my coffee sip, in order so I can further introduce myself and show you all exactly what I'm doing as well as an alderman. That's why we sit here on this diocese. So I will not allow anyone, not a resident or anyone, to taint the integrity of this diocese because we work hard. We work hard and we work for you. All right, moving on to the next thing, Mayor. My condolences as well go out to our city administrator, Mr. Champion. Please keep him in your prayers. The back to school function that we had last Saturday, we had more participants than we had the year before. The line literally was back past the township. That let us know how diligent these mothers and fathers are to come out to receive the donations of the back to school, the back to school supplies, thank you. The back to school supplies. I make no excuse if I lose my thought. So the back to school supplies, so listen, we had an awesome turnout, and I don't think anyone had any school supplies left. I kind of wish we had more, but we'll be more prepared next time for that. And then also, the residents over in Ward 1, on our pump house, which is located on 161st and Hermitage, is getting repainted, cleaned up. So it's looking much better over there in that area as well. Also, I want to state that we have been diligently working in the easements as far as cleaning up our easements. We're still working hard and working diligently to get those done. And I thank you all for being patient. For the ones who are being patient, I thank you, because this is not an easy task. If you was to actually look at Markham on a Google map, we live inside of a forest now. You don't see really homes, we see forests. We live inside of a forest. And it did not get like that overnight or from this current administration. It has grown like that over the years. And not putting fault on anybody, but at least give us the courtesy, at least give us the consideration of saying, hey, listen, they are making effort to get it done. Even though majority of people do know that the easements were actually given to the homeowners. But we still have to have a certain area, of course, for the utility company. But we coming through, we cleaning up the easements, we still cutting down the vacant homes. And it's not easy living next door to a vacant home. I know it's not. It attracts rodents, it attracts possums, but please just be patient enough with us that we are diligently working on it. Okay, and then last but not least, just remember August 27th. That's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you, All Lady Hampton. Good evening, All Lady McDowell.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council, and all residents that are present on tonight. I want to thank the staff that worked with our back to school giveaway, which was absolutely fantastic. If you are still in need, I still have a couple more book bags for those that are in need. You can call my office, and I will be more than happy to bless your kids. This changing our ward map has hit each and every one of our diocese aldermen. It was a very stressful, tiring, but it was something that we have to do as we sit up on this board. I gained a lot of friends within the second ward that I have been blessed to sit under, and I have lost an entire area. Bel Air, I am no longer your alderwoman in that area. Alderman Jones now will take over the entire Bel Air area. So those residents that are actually in that ward, even if you still reach out to me, I will still service you, but Alderman Jones will actually be your alderman in that area. I was blessed, according to the map, to pick up Canterbury. Alder Lady Hampton will take, I think it's 4 streets, and I take the entire Canterbury. I do not take this job lightly, that God has blessed me to sit here. I am sitting here to serve you because you put me in office. And this is what we're here to do, is to serve you. To make sure that our residents know their alderman. We have plenty of events here in Markham, so it will not be hard for you all to know it. I've been in office 3.5 years. Unfortunately, as much as I'm in my ward, people still tell me they don't know. I'm out there. I will make sure that my new Dicey area, you will receive a postcard in the mail stating that I am your new alderwoman due to the ward map change. I will make sure every home will get a postcard stating that I am the new alderman that has been appointed since we have rerouted the map. So there should be no confusion with who your new alderman or alderperson, alderlady, is actually sitting in office. Mayor, from my office to your office, I will make sure those streets that I lost, Bel Air, from Woods to Dixie Highway, Alderlady Hampton, Alderman Jones, those homes that I have worked on or we have problems with, this week I will make sure from my desk, you all will get a complete list of anything that I have worked on. And this is how we work together in unity. This is how we build a community. We build a community by working together as a team. And so when we lose one from here, we build up and we come together. And this is how we become strong in this community. So there's no confusion with who's your alderman or alderlady. We're here for you, and we will make the transition easy that you will know who your alderman is as we sit in this office. Also, on September 3rd, the Second Ward will be having our annual Labor Day Weekend Festival. This is the 3rd year we will have it. I will make sure everyone in my new area, you will receive information to know about your festival. So I encourage you to come out because this is for you and we're here for you. God bless you and thank you.
Thank you, Alderlady McDowell. Okay, with that, we'll go over to public session.
Make a motion that we open the floor to the public.
So
Okay.
moved.
And if you have not signed in, you can still sign in. Can you sign in?
Yes.
Anybody wants to address the council, you can sign in. You'll have 3 minutes and you can come to the dais, or to the podium, I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Okay. You made a motion? Who seconded? Okay, all in favor? Okay, ayes have it.
Okay, Patricia McKinney.
I don't have a clock, so you have to keep time, attorney. I don't
Is this
have
on?
my phone.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me? Good evening,
Is
everyone. I
the,
hope.
IT, is
well.
the mic live over there?
The mic is live over one line, you just have to speak louder.
Okay. It's live. Good evening, Ms. McKinney.
Good evening. I hope everyone is doing well.
Yes, thank you.
Before I begin to submit my comments regarding the redistricting, rezoning, I am not in no way a public speaker, nor do I profess to be. So if I use the wrong terminology for the following comments, I apologize. This is actually after the fact since the ordinance was passed tonight, but I worked hard on this, so I'm going to read my statement. It's, many jurisdictions require the local election official to collect public input prior to the adoption of final maps. This usually applies when making changes to local districts such as Markham. This governing body limited participation to only 26 attendees at the last meeting. Public hearings benefit from board community participation, whether they be conducted in person or electronically. To the extent possible, governing bodies should seek to provide more than one platform to submit input. Adequate notice should be given to invite participants who will be present. Public meetings held online should include detailed instructions for public access and how public input will be collected, stored, made available, and considered for inclusion in final decision. And the greater access to public hearings, the more likely it will be to receive meaningful engagement. That's my statement. Now, my question, I better hurry up, I only have 3 minutes, correct? My statement is to Alderman Jones. Can you tell us when you will begin examining the senior grass cutting, snow blowing program to kind of fix the problems associated with it?
Yes, at the next council meeting.
At the next council, okay. And as I understand it, it is outsourced?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Do you know how they submit their invoice for payment?
No, I don't.
Oh, okay. If you could get that. Also, I'm on the list. I am a senior, and I'm supposedly on the list, and I have never seen anyone. We have our grandsons cut our grass because my husband is disabled. He can't push the lawnmower anymore. And I would like to take advantage of this senior benefit, but we haven't seen anyone or have been contacted. Do you know who has the list of the seniors?
That would be Lisa Young.
The who?
Lisa Young.
Oh, Lisa Young. So I can ask her if I could have a copy of the list to check, to make sure my name is on there? Okay, great. And this is directed to the mayor. I have requested an in-person meeting with you on July 26th. And I didn't hear anything back from this meeting. I wrote to Ernestina. And about a week or so later, I contacted her and asked her what was happening. And she said that she would have to update your calendar to make sure it coordinated with hers. And to date, I haven't received any
I have to
information
follow
about
up.
a scheduled meeting.
I didn't know you wanted to meet.
Yes,
Check with her, but, you know, she'll have to coordinate it, but
right.
I'll check with you too,
Okay,
all right?
okay, great. That's all I have. Thank you.
Okay.
Mayor, the young lady, she wants a list of the homes that are being, for the snow, removal, snow plowing. Right. But I don't think we give out a list. I think Lisa will just check and make sure that she is on the list.
Well,
Is she on the list? Can they do?
I was going to just mention, Alderman, you probably want to just direct that over to me or.
Okay, I'll leave it up to
Because Lisa's
Alderman
gonna
Jones
have
to
to,
handle
she's gonna
that
have
for
to
me,
touch base with
okay?
me, so.
All right.
You know, or Mr. Champion or something, one of us will have to deal with it.
Yeah, I don't necessarily
so
need
what-
the list. I just want to make sure that I'm on the list.
I'll find out, you know, what's going on, why you did not get serviced. you know.
Maybe I'm new, I don't know, but there
Yeah,
there
'cause,
are
I mean-
problems, so,
There's a process that we ask people to go through to get signed up. So if you didn't go through all that with her, then that's why you're not getting service. So it's an easy lift. We can do
well,
it.
and Alderman made the call to put me on the list because I did try to sign up and I kept calling and it was
Who
busy and
called?
they wouldn't accept any more
Oh,
voicemails
that
to
was-
get back to me. So an Alderman put me on the list.
So you call for her?
Yes.
Okay, well then I'll follow up and see what's going on. When we talk about the meeting, then I'll tell you about that too.
Okay, all
Okay.
right, thank you.
All right.
Darlene Harris.
Good evening.
Good evening.
How is everyone?
Good.
Are there any Word on the license and business license of Jack Harris Transportation. The city of Markham, I haven't heard from you guys. And when I spoke with Mr. Champion last week, he's waiting to hear something. So, being said, is there any way that we can have a meeting with the mayor or the commissioner, those that in reference to the decision-making soon?
I think that, I don't know why you haven't been contacted, but when you talked I talked with you and your sister, when you were leaving here, there was no real issue with what you were doing with your office space.
Okay.
You remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I don't know what happened since then.
Okay.
I think you was to follow up with them, you're saying you did? You did follow
Yeah, I
up with them?
made several calls to Mr. Robert, I can't think of his last name, and Mr. Champion. And they just waiting, and they put it off waiting to hear from you. So that's what I'm here
No,
tonight.
I ain't waiting to
so-
hear from me.
Like they were waiting to hear. They didn't know, so it's like it was in your corner.
I'll check and find out and give you a call, Ms. Harris, about what they're gonna do with your office space over there, okay?
Okay. And one more thing, in reference to the senior grass cutting and snow, is there any reason why they only doing the front and versus the back? Because I think I spoke to Mr. Devin, I think he called me last
that?
weekend, Devin or somebody. I don't know his last name. He deals with the landscape, cutting of the grass. I don't know if you guys know him, but I received a call from him. And I asked, is there any reason why they only do the front versus to back? And it's for the
I
seniors.
talked with Miss Lisa about your property and several over there what's your neighbor's name? I talked to her too.
Ms. Statham,
Yeah, I talked to her and Miss Lane.
yeah, Ms. Lane, okay.
Well, I talked to her sister, so I didn't talk to Miss Lane.
Oh,
She
okay.
said she'd tell her sister when
Okay.
we talked to her. And then I think I may have, did I call you two, Alderman, about it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so the problem is that your yards are bigger than the average yard in the city. And so that's where it becomes a challenge to treat your property just like anybody else. We have to try to figure out, that's the only thing we could do. Now, she decided, I forget her name, what's her last name?
Statham.
Ms. Statham. She decided that she would forego the service because she doesn't want the front cut and somebody else cutting the back. I said, well, that's your call, but we don't have a program that's going to facilitate us cutting all that property. We can't do that. It has to be spread as evenly as possible because we would be disproportionately giving you more than we give the rest of the residents.
Okay,
So that was the issue.
last question in reference.
Does that make
to-
any sense?
Yes, sir, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
In reference to the seniors, are we encouraging the community to attend these meetings since we have all our aldermen here? Or is it really open? Because, it's not a big turnout, not enough seats. Are we able to encourage them? When I hear complaints and I tell people just like, coming to sign up, let them be heard. So are we able to encourage them to what they need to speak?
People are encouraged. The only time you're going to really see somebody is when you got an issue.
Right.
They're fine until they got an issue.
Right.
That's the nature of people.
But that's the thing is, and with the
But-
aldermen and listening to all the community activities and things, which is wonderful. And I think the word getting out is the most important, and even the last couple of meetings, my hands, I'm excited, listening to what I've heard. Even, and just to reiterate, changes is always good, believe it or not. So, I'm excited what you guys.
Well, I'm glad you're out, Ms. Harris, but two of the old ladies spoke very well about engagement. Some people don't come because they are engaged. Other people, like I said, they'll come because they want to see a hornet's nest. That's just the nature of people. But that's not the issue now. So I can tell you, you come back in a couple of weeks, these people ain't gonna be here. Some of them ain't gonna come. They ain't coming back till somebody call them. That's the truth. Just how the nature of people. They're gonna be too busy or going doing something else. That's just how people are. Yeah.
Okay.
And I think, you know,
Thank
as
you.
well, Ms. Harris, let you know as well, that our city council meetings is actually on our cable channel. It tells exactly when we have our city council meetings. A lot of the information is also, given by word of mouth as well. But I do have to agree with you, I think we need to actually put a little extra push, sorry, Mayor. We could put a little extra push and maybe, I'll, pass out some flyers in my ward and say, listen, city council meeting is open, please, attend. And we'll see how it works.
I
But
think
it
it
is
would be
actually
wonderful.
on our cable channels and stuff as well.
Okay, that's wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Harris. I'll be calling you, okay?
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
Jack Harris.
Good afternoon, Mayor.
Mr. Harris, hello.
A couple of problems that we would like to discuss further. One is that we're paying for sewage that we don't have. And I questioned about it before, but they never made any changes. So I don't think it's fair. We're not getting sewage service to pay for sewage. And that's been ever since we've been there since '98. One other thing I had questioned, I don't know if you all could do anything about it. They ran the electric all the way back to the back of the property to the wooded area. Now trees and everything started to grow up around that. So I called Edison up. I don't think they say it's not their responsibility or whatever. But I feel like in a few years, the way that trees are growing, it's going to interfere with the corners. Not only that but they hooked it all the way to the other side, to all those people. That means everybody's life is going to be affected. And we can't get nobody to do anything about it. So it should have been ran in the front, but they ran it all the way back to the back for some reason. I wasn't there at the time when they brought it, stopped them in. So I think it's something that maybe y'all can help us in, maybe not, but we never got compensated for it. My pet belief is that they try to save money by using our easements to using the easement of the state, because it's gonna cost us, but they never compensate us. But I call them up and ask them if they'll come in and do something about the trees that are growing into that main feeder. All right, you can't even see it because of the weeds, the trees that's growing there. I'm afraid we're gonna have a problem down the road. So if you all can assist us, we'd be more than happy. And I would just like to add a few things. Since I've been here since 47 years, I brought revenue and I've been a help to this community, to Markham, to the city hall, to the skate place. I brought revenue in here. I've been a help to this city, and I don't think they've been fair when you're putting us on delay as far as the license is concerned. Not that we can't get them anywhere else, so we work in all these areas, and they'd be more than happy to get that tax revenue. But if you all don't see fit to use it, let us know that you all don't want the money, and then I go to the next city and offer to them, and they would be more than glad. Since I've been here, I brought a lot of income into the city. All those beautiful homes you see over there on Kizzy, they're there because of us. The buses they call Lulu Transportation, they're there because of us. I shared my income and my knowledge with other people to help them grow. And that's why in that area, those people are prosper. The water, they said, we've been trying to get water for 15 years. We haven't got it yet. I said, you start at the bottom, I start at the top. We have water, so we thank you all and hope you all see fit and help. This Harris Transportation is already retired, but they want to stay in the business. I think it's fair that you give back to them what we have given to you for 47 years.
Thank you, Mr. Harris. I didn't know about your sewer issue. What do you have, a septic? Septic? Okay. All right, we'll look into that.
Eleni Spears.
Who's that?
Ms. Spears?
Good evening.
Good evening.
First thing I would like to do is address something you said, Mayor. Number one, I got in the habit of not attending council meetings because it's on Bible study night. So therefore, when I make an effort to come in here, yes, it's because there's something I'm concerned about, or I've been asked to come as a senior to address senior issues. So don't assume that I'm coming
I didn't
here.
point you out, ma'am.
No, I didn't say you did, but you said.
You don't have
made
to
a
explain
blanket
that to me.
statement.
You don't owe me that.
Okay.
I don't deserve that.
Okay, a blanket statement was made.
I made it, but
about
it didn't
people
apply
not
to
coming.
you. Apparently it didn't apply to you,
Thank
because you go to Bible study.
The other thing.
The rest of them
is
ain't going,
that-
some ain't going to Bible study.
The other thing is that I wanted to hear that further to say, I got in the habit of not coming because it was on Bible study night.
I'm glad you're
I don't
here.
have that excuse now because of the fact that it's been moved to Thursday night. But I moved out to Markham from Chicago. Got a very bad taste in my mouth from Chicago politics. So I try to avoid confrontation. I come in when there's a challenge or a problem. One of the things that concern me, looking at the redistricting, my background from the Postal Service, I was a diversity specialist, going across the country doing training for managers and executives. One of the things I noticed, there's a disparate amount, excuse me, there's a disparate amount in the number, in the way things are being, in the redistricting, looking at this, and I don't know if anybody else would pick up on this, but I'm looking at 53% of one of our ethnicities are in 2 wards. I don't know how this was determined as far as the lines drawn. I've never understood all the zigzags and whatever that I even saw in Chicago. And I questioned it there. And I know recently there's been a lot on the news about them creating wards based on ethnicity in Chicago. So this is, again, something that made me sensitive to this. So the other lady mentioned about having input and giving us a chance to ask questions, because we don't know how it was done, why it was done, but we need to be aware of the appearance that maybe we are, as Chicago, deliberately created wards based on ethnicity. So this was my issue as a diversity person, to say, okay, how was this determined? Is this particular group or groups in a certain area? Are the zigzags to include them in a certain area? I need understanding. And this is what my
It's more
concern-
simple, if I can just address that much of it. That's where they live at. You know what I mean? It's, the map is just drawn simply where people live. You know, we didn't put people in certain places. The map was drawn in that section. When it was cut, that's where those people live. So it's always been that way. If you looked at the previous data you're referring to, for basically, I guess it'd probably be white or Hispanic in the 4th ward, that ward still predominantly has more white or Hispanic in it as before. That did not change, because that's where they live. So, you know, I mean, I tried to say that as simple as I could, even for me. So, but that there's no big formula to that, other than that's where the line is cut. If that's where you live, that's where you're at.
Okay,
So there
I
was-
guess what I didn't.
Did I do
understand-
okay?
what I didn't understand was, as a layperson, why don't the lines just go like that rather than zigzagging and curving? It just looks strange to me, and I know that there is some reason, but I'm not aware of what the reason is. Why can't it be? You know, it just looks illogical when you look at it.
Yeah, there were reasons for that. And
Were
that's,
are those even available for understanding?
Alderman, I'm sorry, Attorney.
Very simple. It's not as simple as the straight lines, we wish it was. But the federal government divides communities by census blocks. And in the census block are blocks, neighborhoods. And we have to stay within the census block in order to comply with what the federal government gives us. That's why you have some lines that are zigzag and go this way or that way. This map was not done like Chicago's map. I participated in the last 4 Chicago maps over the last 40 years. And obviously their map, the state map, is what we call gerrymandered, done for a particular purpose, for particular people. This map was not. This map was done so the population can even out. And as the mayor said, the population in the 4th ward was the population in the 4th ward, and the changes went from 19% white to 16% white, and I'm sorry, from 16% white to 19% white, and from 28% Latino to 30% Latino, because that's where they live, right? So we had to keep everything within the federal census blocks.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Anything else, Ms. Spears? That's
No,
it?
I think that answered the question. I would, wait a minute, there was one other thing, and this is about the cutting and stuff. I would like to make a suggestion that whoever is cutting in a particular area be assigned to that area. Because right now, I think I have 7 of the little floodlights broken, but nobody ever knows who's responsible, and they're not held responsible. They're not that expensive to replace, to be coming up, raising, saying, and, demanding repayment, but it is getting expensive when you get 7, because they're running.
You can let us know, they shouldn't be messing your property up, Ms. Spears. Please let us know, we'll take care of that and replace it.
And please ask them, stop cutting down my bushes.
We'll do that too.
One other thing, I'm not sure if you're aware, the trees that are growing up now, that are growing up in the ceiling, in 2015, I had hip replacement surgery. By the time I really got back out and paid attention in my backyard, these trees had gotten to be substantial in size and had thorns on them. And when I say thorns, I'm talking about needle-like thorns. And I'm a senior on limited income. I can't pay somebody to come in and cut these trees down. The house to the north of me and to the west of me are both empty. So I don't even know who to ask, who owns the property, to see about working with them to get these cut down. But they are dangerous, especially if people move in with children.
I will address that with you, Ms. Spears. I've got your information.
Okay, and one last question. I didn't understand about the easement cutting. I know my fence, I allowed plenty of room for easement when I put my fence in years ago. But the question is, do I need to do anything else? Because again, both houses, I know they're working on the house to the west of me, but the house to the north of me, and I think that's 166-24, is empty. And it's been empty for a little while, and it doesn't look like anybody's moving in. And I know they're working on the one to the west of me.
Okay. I'll make sure I give you a call on all of that, okay?
Thank you.
Ms. Spears, let me apologize to you, okay? But I'm gonna fuss when people come to the meeting, and I'm gonna keep some order. So it didn't mean that with you, okay? But I'm here to try to keep some control. And I'm gonna fuss about Markham, okay? So,
Can we
and
get more information about things that are going on? Because I just happened to hear a rumor about the ward changes, so I didn't know what was going on. So I'm gonna ask questions for understanding.
you should.
Not conversation.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Spears.
So you know, I know some people get concerned when they see me just watching them while they speak. I do that with everybody because I'm trying to make sure I'm getting the understanding and letting them know I'm paying attention to what they're saying.
Okay, Ms. Spears, thank you.
Lawrence Patterson.
Good evening, City Council, Mr. Mayor, City Attorney, Treasurer, and City Clerk. My name is Lawrence Patterson II. I'm the Commissioner of Markham Park District, and I don't have any questions. I have a comment, I have a statement. This is what this forum is for right now. And first and foremost, before I start, I want to apologize to the City of Markham. Sometimes, especially in the back row in which I sat behind these two young ladies back here, and they said, man, is that how they act? Is that how the City Council represents themselves? That's unprofessional. These are things I heard sitting back there. This is not how we act. I've been coming to these meetings for over 6 years. I'm a 33-year-old elected official in the City of Markham. That's not how we act. We act with emotion sometimes, but that emotion is for a greater cause. What leads me why I'm up here right now. When I first learned of the ward map changes, I said, oh, this is interesting. So many things can happen from this. I'm no longer Ward 4, I am now Ward 3. I do have political endeavors to eventually run for alderman for a ward. I'm not gonna shy around that, but I also know that a part of running for wards is getting to know everyone in this room. A part of being on this board is letting the citizens who we represent know what's going on in the city of Harvey. It's Markham, sorry. I'm from Harvey. I'm from Harvey. And one thing that really triggered me, and it was brought to my attention when Alderwoman McDowell and Alderwoman Bree or Alderwoman Hampton said that I'm going to get out there and I'm going to let my new constituents know what is going on in my new ward. I have one question, rhetorical question. We send postcards for every city ordinance that we should not violate to every citizen with an address. Why wasn't this one of those postcards? In my opinion, strong opinion, I think this room should be filled from wall to wall because this is the most important thing or issue that we have come to in the past 10 years. We have a census. The census is every 10 years. With the census being every 10 years, we know that the population is going to increase or decrease determined by ethnic groups. We know that. We know that we're going to lose some people, unfortunately, to death and other causes. People are going to move out the state and the city because of high taxes. People know that we have these real life issues. Why wasn't this something that could have been delivered to everybody? I got notice about this the day before August 3rd, which is our first city council meeting. 2 weeks later, you vote on it. How is that fair to the city of Markham? Over 12,000 people. It's not fair. It's not fair. My intention is not to make any enemies up here. My intention is to always speak the facts to the city of Markham, Illinois. And if I don't speak the facts, I'm not doing my job as an elected official, but more importantly, I'm not doing my job as a constituent to all of you guys. My job right now is to ensure that moving forth, whatever is going on in this city council, even as commissioner of Markham Park District, that you guys know and understand what is going on. They are the liaisons to a ward. The mayor is the liaison to the city. Obviously, it goes through them, then it comes through me, then it goes to you guys. Help them by contacting them when you have issues, you have concerns. Do not let it go by. Get your neighbors in here. Get your friends in here. This is something that is going to impact generations to come. My family has been a part of Markham, Illinois for the past 60 years. I'm a generational Markham, Illinois resident. I bought 2 houses in the city of Markham. I plan on staying in the city of Markham. With that, Mr. Mayor, I consider you a very good friend. We have had some great debates. We have had some great conversations, some good fist bumps. Alderwoman Bree and Alderwoman Hampton, you guys have engaged me. I love Alderwoman Bree Hampton's hug. She hugs me so tight. I get that energy from her. She gets to go out there and she gets to do the work of the people. Alderman Jones, he knew me since I was J-High. Live right next to each other. He can tell you my story just like anybody else. And then Alderman Barron, a hero of his community. We need representation that is going to work. And that's why you got to keep the trigger on them to make sure that they work. With that, I get back the rest of my time.
Is that it?
Yes,
Just, Mr. Lawrence, thank you for your comments, but I will say to you and say to the public that it is unfortunate, but sometimes this is how we act. And I don't like it when we have to, but I'm not afraid or ashamed to have to do it.
Emotion.
No, some of it's not emotion, it's just, it's spirited. And when you're going to meet that spirit, that's what you give it. And then we'll hopefully move on. That's just how it's going to be. But, you know, we're all elected officials. I appreciate some of the things that were said by the aldermen tonight in terms that they're going to do what they need to do to get out there. That's their job. And it's our job we didn't ask for the census to come to us the way it did. It came. And we took action. We'd be here for eon trying to get everybody to agree on something. It's just not going to happen. That's what these people were elected to do, and that's what they did. And you're not going to have a full vote to where everybody's going to agree. It's just not going to happen. So this is democracy at its best. That's how we're fortunate that we got 3 to vote on and didn't go a different direction. So that's a good thing.
And I'm not saying that it's not a good thing.
Yeah, I didn't say you did. I didn't say that. And you still can have your aspiration. Your aspiration is not taken from you. So that's just what it's about. And I just want to, you know, I'm not going to apologize for defending what I think is right as the leader of the city. That's just my job. And, you know, that's what I'm charged with for a little while, and then we'll see where it goes. But I'm going to try to do that. And thank you for what you try to do where you're at. And we're going to move on. Anybody else? Okay. Is there a motion to close the meeting? Motion to close the floor? It's posted, but we'll make sure we even print out the agenda that it's what.
I meant the information that's going to be discussed on the agenda, is possible to get information about it so that we're knowledgeable about what is going to
It's posted on the website. That's really where they have it. What we can maybe do is make that available in the front counter or something, you know, ahead that week. Maybe that Friday or Monday, you can stop by and pick up an agenda. Okay? But if you have email on that or your phone, it can be sent to you. Okay? Was there a motion to close? Is there a second? Second. All in favor? Okay, is there a motion for number 13? It's usually 13. Is it 13 tonight? No, it's not. Okay. Second. Okay. Okay. Roll call.
Alderman Jones?
Yes.
Alderman Barron?
Yes.
Alder Lady Hampton Hauser?
Yes.
Alder Lady McDowell? Motion carried.
Okay, good night, everyone.